Welcome back. I know I've been MIA. Life's just kicking my booty. There's no other, that's the simplest explanation. Between sports seasons, sports for the kids, and Awana, we're out of the house 5 nights a week. And then Saturdays we're out most of the day for sports. And that really means that only Fridays do I have to do things around the house and to tape. But we're almost done with sports seasons and I am looking forward to getting back to doing more videos. That said, this weekend I am doing a lot of cooking and I thought maybe I'd take you along and kind of show you what's cooking in my kitchen this weekend. I have, besides the regular meals, I also have several things that I'm making to freeze up. So I thought I would take you along and show you what. So this is my inspiration, actually 4 bags. Food Lion has apples on Macintosh and Galas on sale for 59 cents a pound, which is less than half the price that I usually pay for them. So I bought a bunch for us to, obviously just eat, but I'm also doing several projects with them as well. The Honey Crisp, this bag was Honey Crisp, these were on sale I think for $1.59 maybe a pound, so still a good price, but not as good as these. So the first recipe I am doing is the spiced slow cooker applesauce from All Recipes. You cook the apples with just apples and water and then adds brown sugar and pumpkin pie seasoning. So my kids love pumpkin pie seasoned anything. So that is what's cooking in here. I'm hoping to have it done before bedtime tonight so we can have it as a snack before bed. I just made a half batch because I didn't know what they would think of it. If we like it, I'm going to make a larger batch and freeze it. It's supposed to freeze really well in just Ziploc bags, or I'll probably put it in my canning jars. Then with the cores and the peels from it, I'm going, plus some other apples, I'm going to try making apple cider. I found a recipe, I think it's from Sally's Baking Addiction. So again, I'll link it below. Once I get that started, I'll show it to you. I'm going to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to save all this and I'm just going to pop it in the freezer so it'll stay good for tomorrow. I'm making apple pie filling to put in the freezer. Sometimes I go ahead and assemble the pie and then pop it in the freezer. I'll give you a good link from the King Arthur blog that talks about how to do it. But it makes it very handy so that you already have the pies ready. I usually do this for Thanksgiving, but this year we are going to my in-laws for Thanksgiving, so I don't need it for that. But since I have apples, I want to pop some in the freezer for just the filling. I'm not in the mood to deal with the crust today, so I'll just make up the filling, pop it in the freezer, and that way we can have apple pie during the winter. I love apple pie. My family loves apple pie, but I hate making it. Next project, wings. We're having hamburgers on the grill tonight, and my husband asked if I would pop some wings in the smoker as well. We just bought an electric smoker maybe a year and a half ago or so, somewhere around there. I had no idea how easy it was until this summer because my husband, I just always had him do it. So easy. And it's kind of like a slow cooker that I can just set it and put the timer on and I don't have to worry about it until the timer goes off. Next up is making some sauteed onions to go on the hamburgers for tonight. If you've never sauteed onions like this kind, it's for this purpose. They go very, very quickly from this really light brown sugar color to black. When it gets to this point, you've got to be very, very careful because otherwise they'll turn black as can be. I saute them in bacon grease and butter. Sometimes I will add some jalapeno pepper to it, or the cooked bacon bits that you buy at the store. The apple pie filling is done. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. I'm hoping it cools before my husband gets home. Otherwise, he may talk me into making it to a pie for the weekend. So, I used a combination of, I had Granny Smith, and then I used some of the Honey Crisp, and then I also used some of the Macintosh, which I don't really love for baking, but that's what I had, and I'm making do. This is called the recipe's called sticky style rotisserie chicken, I think. We're actually having that either tomorrow or Sunday, I'm not sure which. But it needs to cook for 5 hours at 250. We don't have 5 hours tomorrow or Sunday. So I went ahead and cooked it about 3 hours today. And then we'll just finish. I'll let it cool and then refrigerate it, and then we'll finish cooking it whichever day we need it. Next thing I'm doing is an experiment. I'm making oven fries for dinner, and the skins, I decided to toss it with a little bit of peanut oil and salt, and I'm gonna bake these and see how they turn out. The applesauce looks delicious. I accidentally turned it to high, so it got done very quickly. So I'm going to try this. I don't usually love applesauce. The texture kind of squeaks me out, but it's pretty good. I think next time less of the pumpkin pie flavor. That's good though. Happy Saturday to you. We've been out most of the day with volleyball and soccer games. Now we're home and I am back in the kitchen. I ended up spending 3.5 hours in the kitchen yesterday, and it was so wonderful. Working in the kitchen just feeds my soul. So that was wonderful. Today, I'm working on the chicken. Whoa, the lighting is so weird over here by my stove, very orange. I started it yesterday. It is pretty well done. I'm just gonna keep basting it, and we'll wait until the bread is done for it. I put more apples in the crock pot to do applesauce. This time we're not going to season it. We're just going to do it just like this and see how it is. As I mentioned in yesterday's bit about the apple pie filling, it did not get frozen before my husband got home, and he talked me into making a pie. So I was going to do our favorite pie crust. It comes from Cook's Illustrated, and I will link it below. It uses the food processor to make it. Our food processor broke a couple years ago, and so I had to switch to do a different one. Anyway, long story short, I was going to do the vodka one and realized that I don't have any vodka. This is the recipe. Again, I will link it. This is from, it's posted on New York Times right now. But then the one we found is called Ruth's Grandma's Pie Crust. Again, comes from all recipes. The bread, I forgot to put the sugar in and didn't realize it until I had already let it rise. So it was good, but not great. So we're either gonna make it into French toast tomorrow morning, or I will make it into croutons for us. So it won't go to waste. I'll make it in a loaf for tomorrow's roast. I also did the pie crust. I went ahead and made a double batch and put the others in the freezer so that we'll have it ready for a pie later on in the winter. And then last thing for tonight is I started a batch of chicken broth using the chicken that I had for dinner, and then I've been collecting scraps of like onions and garlic and carrots and some leeks and whatever in there, and that will cook overnight. I will probably do 2 more batches, and that will get me probably, I get about 9 cups, 8 to 9 cups out of a batch. So probably 2 or 3 batches. So I'll have a lot of yummy chicken broth to move into the fall with. Woke up to 40-degree weather. It's so chilly outside, and the best thing about those mornings is when I can come downstairs and have a cup of broth. I don't usually like to drink broth, but the first batch, I love to have a warm cup. Dinner is cooking, making roast. I use a combination of like what I had growing up combined with Pioneer Woman's. I think it's called the Perfect Pot Roast. I'll try to link it. I also made more bread, remembering to put the sugar in this time. I had some issues with the crust. It was really, really soft. So one thing led to another, and we ended up doing it in my cast iron. And underneath the bottom crust, I saw an idea to melt brown sugar and butter, put the crust on, and then the apples, and then, so that looks fantastic. I cannot wait to have it. Broth, I'm getting ready to pull out a second batch of it. The bread I made yesterday without the sugar in it, I decided to dry it, and I'm going to make breadcrumbs out of it. You can see how holy it is. Now let me show you the new bread. Much better. It's actually Monday morning, not the weekend, but I meant to do this last night and I forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and include it. Last thing that I am making is I'm going to use up the apple scraps and make apple cider. She said to make sure to use a variety of apples, so I have a few different apples, or some, of the kinds I used up in here, and then I have a bit. I'm going to use a couple more of the Honey Crisp, Honey Crisp, and the Macintosh. As you can see, I still have a lot of apples. After we make this batch, we're going to decide what else we want to do with the apples. If I want to make more cider to freeze or what. And I know I'm going to make some muffins as well.